Hello and happy Friday. What's up, friends? I've got what I hope will be an enjoyable and educational show for you today. And cross your fingers, because you know when I do these kind of shows where I cover multiple topics, or I even just share a specific topic, I always seem to torture myself by having lots of moving parts, lots of graphics, and lots of windows open. So I've been practicing today before the show to try and make it as streamlined as possible. But I'm just going to apologize in advance if something doesn't open like it's supposed to, or I'm not as quick at transitions as I need to be. So I wanted to tell you something first, a couple of things first, really exciting things. So on maybe Monday this week, earlier this week, we've had good weather anyway. We had last night, it was kind of cloudy and it looked like it might rain, but nothing came of it. But earlier this week, took the telescope out into the backyard and I saw Saturn through the telescope for the first time in my life. Obviously, we've all seen pictures of Saturn, right? And we've all seen astrophotography from people that have, really nice telescopes. But it was, I'm so science nerdy and geeky that I was almost in tears. So I used a wide angle eyepiece first, just to really find the area of the sky. I mean, I have a finder scope on top of the telescope, but it was very dark because the moon is not out right now at night. Well, it comes up super late. Like it comes up, I think, at like 3 a.m. or something. And I was probably out at 11:45, just as Saturn and Neptune, I think it is, because they're kind of in line with each other. Obviously, they're millions of miles apart, but when you're looking in the sky, they're near each other. Now, I couldn't see Neptune because I don't have a telescope that nice, but they were up high enough to be above the trees, so that's why I went out at that time of the night. And it was, anyway, so I'm using my wide angle, bigger part of the sky. I can see more of the sky with this first eyepiece. And then I put in my higher powered eyepiece so that I could, zoom in more on Neptune. And, I'm turning the little knobs to get it to focus. And then when I realized it was, the little sphere with the circles around it, y'all, I can't even explain how exciting that was. Now, I will say, again, I don't have a great telescope. It'll be great for the moon. It'll be great for things that really are closer enough. But Saturn is very far away, even though it's phenomenally bigger than the Earth. It's so far away that it's very small in the sky. And even with my telescope, with my higher powered eyepiece, it was still very, very small, which was disappointing to me only because I bought a camera mount for the telescope so that I can start taking pictures and videos of some of the stuff that I find in the night sky. So again, the moon, it'll be great for that because you don't even need a telescope to see the moon. But I intend to use my telescope to see the moon. But this was just a red letter week for me because I saw Saturn with my own eyes through my very own telescope for the first time ever. And it was just beautiful. It was an amazing experience. I have always enjoyed the night sky, and that was a bucket list thing for me. So neither here nor there. The other fun thing I wanted to share with you is that I just finished watching a series on Amazon Prime called The Terminal List. There's been one season so far. They're in the process of shooting season 2 now, so I'm guessing that'll probably come out sometime next year. The Terminal List, it stars Chris Pratt, and that series was recommended to me by ChatGPT. I literally got on ChatGPT and asked, can you make some recommendations for some new series for me to watch? Now, I've chatted enough with ChatGPT, and that's one of the fun things about ChatGPT, because over time, it learns about you. It learns what kind of things you like. It learns the way you see things. It learns what you don't like. And so we've already had discussions off and on. When I did my stream on the impact of science fiction on everyday life and technology, I used ChatGPT to get some ideas on what kind of things I could cover. And in that chat, I shared, some of my favorite sci-fi books and movies and things that I know have come about as a result of those things. So it knows I'm a science geek, and it knows a lot about other things I like to watch and do. So I just have to say it was spot on to have recommended that series. I made myself go to bed after watching 4 of the 8 episodes in series 1 the first night that I was watching. And then I couldn't wait to wake up the next day, which was yesterday. I just finished it yesterday, to finish off the series. And I've decided I really like Chris Pratt. I don't know a lot of his stuff, and I haven't seen, because I think he's in the newest Jurassic Park. Is that right? I don't even remember what it's called, or one of the newest ones, and I haven't seen it yet. But I did see him in a movie. It might be the movie The Tomorrow War. And I think he's a scientist, and he goes into the future, and he meets his daughter, who's an adult at this point, and she's also a scientist, and they have to save the world from aliens. I think that's the right movie, and I'm pretty sure that's Chris Pratt in that, and I really liked that. So I don't know a lot about him, but my impression of him is that I feel like he may be more known, to me at least, I think more of like comedy when I think of Chris Pratt. And I don't know why, again, because I can't really name a lot of movies or shows that he's been in. But I think of him more as a lighter, not so heavy. And this show, this Terminal List, it is very heavy. It is very intense. And it is, what a story. So I'm anxious for season 2, and I highly recommend it to you. Without any spoilers, a group of Navy SEALs goes to Syria, and they're ambushed, and all of the soldiers in the unit die, except for Chris Pratt's character, and he's the commander of that unit. So it does have that military undertone to the whole thing. But again, it's just a great story, great acting. It also has Jean Triplehorn. Is that her last name? She was in, what's that Tom Cruise movie? The Firm. I think she played his wife in that movie. I don't know a lot about her either, but she's a great actress. Everyone in it was just stellar. So, not that movies and TV shows are on the list of things we're going to talk about today, but check that show out. And if you've got recommendations for other things that are kind of like that, I've watched the Jack Ryan stuff. I think I've probably watched a handful of shows that are sort of that same genre. But if you've got a recommendation for me, let me know about that too. I'll say now before I forget, thanks to those who are watching live. Thanks to those who might be part of the rewatch crew and check out the stream after it ends today. And let me explain how today's going to work. So if you notice, let me take myself off for a second. How do I do this? No, let's see. Let's do it this way. Okay. So as you can tell by the backdrop, I've got some categories and we're going to spin the wheel. It's been a long time since I've used the wheel. We're going to spin a wheel. It's going to land on one of these categories and I'll just tell you what the topic is. Most of these have between 4 and 6 different entries, just so we can spin the wheel more times. So I won't spin the wheel and have it land on one topic and do the whole everything in that topic. We'll just spin multiple times and hopefully we'll get to everything today. And then mystery grab bag, we'll just have to see what comes up when that pops up on the wheel. Nothing else I guess I need to tell you about. So let me get back to getting things set up. So I'm going to add my wheel now to the stage. Remember the wheel? So this is the wheel of topics. And we're going to give it a spin. And then again, I'm going to see if I can work to make, or I can get it to work to make these things, all these parts run together nicely. First up on the wheel today is Space and Beyond. So let's see what I have in my category for Space and Beyond. I've got my trusty little spreadsheet here. But let me get to my details list, which is hard to do with the microphone right here, but okay. All right. So first up in the Space and Beyond category, Quasi-Moon 2025 PM7 was discovered. A new quasi-moon, otherwise known as an asteroid, called 2025 PM7 has been found. It's about 19 meters wide, which is approximately 62 feet. It doesn't orbit Earth exactly, but it follows a solar orbit similar to Earth's, meaning it occasionally loops around us in a sort of gravitational dance. It's likely been near Earth for about 60 years, but it was only recently identified via the Pan-STARRS Observatory. So that was first up on the wheel today. Let's take that one off now so that I only have enough entries for the stuff I've really got. And we're going to spin again and see what we get. You guys can guess if you want to try to guess what you think is going to come up on the wheel before it stops. Looks like it's going to be tech and gadgets. Tech and gadgets. And let me see what I have for you first up in the tech and gadgets category. Tech and gadgets. First up, under tech and gadgets, Meta's Celeste smart glasses. Have you heard of these? So Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, it's the parent company for those two social media platforms. I think it's probably trying to take over the world, but that's another string. It's about to drop Celeste, a consumer-ready smart glasses product with a built-in display and AI features. And I'm pretty sure I've seen a commercial for a previous version of the Meta glasses. Premium design controlled via a wristband, and it's meant to push deeper into AR, alternate reality AI/AI, artificial intelligence integration in everyday wearables. We did talk about wearables in the stream about science fiction's impact on everyday life. And I have wanted for a long time I think it exists, but even if it doesn't, I know I'll never be able to afford it if and when it does. I'd love to have a pair of glasses, because I wear glasses, that records video or takes pictures. So like a GoPro, and I have a GoPro and I could wear that all the time everywhere, but I don't want to have to do that. I would love to have a pair of glasses that I could just say, whatever the name is, start recording video or record or whatever the key, phrase is to make it work. Because so often things happen around here and I don't have my phone with me, or by the time I, open the camera app on my phone, because I don't have a camera, the thing that I wanted to record is already over. So it would be so nice that if I turn and I see something, I could say, glasses, start recording, and I could capture it. So for every video you might see of the animals doing something funny or interesting, for example, there are hundreds of other things that happen here, that I wasn't in a position to record it while it was happening. So that's my dream for smart glasses, or whatever these are called. All right, we'll take this off, do another spin. So far, I'm not going to knock on wood. I learned that lesson. So far, this is working pretty smoothly. Looks like we're going to get international snapshot. International snapshot. So under the international snapshot, just have to go to that section. Okay, where's my international snapshot? International snapshot. Oh, I think I passed it. Hang on. It's at the top. All right, up first, under the international snapshot heading, is information on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the international pressure that's building as a result of that. The UN warns of dire shortages of food and fuel in northern Gaza, worsened by the closure of the Zikim crossing. Over 50 Palestinians were killed just in one day, based on a recent report, amid a renewed Israeli ground offensive aimed at Gaza City. Since the conflict began, estimates are over 65,000 deaths and 165,000 injuries in Gaza, with more than 1 million people displaced. This is a huge crisis there. International reactions include Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and China that have all condemned the offensive. The European Union is considering suspending parts of its trade agreement with Israel in response. And I do have a map here somewhere that I could share with you. I thought I did. Let's see if I put it in my little folder. I didn't put it in my little folder, but it has all the points that we're going to talk about today. So I don't guess that's real important. Let's spin the wheel again, see what the next entry is on our discussion today. Maybe we'll do something light now after that. Trending headlines. Let's get to trending headlines. Trending headlines. All right. So trending headlines, like happening now. The consumer price index for all items. This is a year-over-year comparison. So the consumer price index for all items rose 2.9% compared to August, starting August last year, which is up from the 2.7% of August last year. So consumer price index is up. Food inflation is noticeable. The food index increased 3.2% year over year. Again, previous to August 2024, now to August 2025. And core inflation, excluding food and energy, is also up approximately 3.1% compared to last year. That's first on our list today. That doesn't sound very good, does it? Doesn't sound very good to me. Let's Let's see what we get next. Oh, I want to get to some fun things. Hopefully I'll really remember to remove these as they come up so that we don't have leftovers at the end. Oh, Sports Corner. Let's see what's up in Sports Corner. Sports Corner, first up. All right. First up under Sports Corner. I'm not a sports fan, but I know some of you are, so that's why I thought I would include something about sports. And we all know how often that has come up when I've done my little Google Trends thing in some of the live streams lately. Sports-related stuff is always really high on the list of the most searched things happening, which is why then it's trending. But the Indiana Fever broke a 9-year playoff curse recently. The WNBA's Indiana Fever won their first playoff game since 2015, beating the Atlanta Dream 77-60 in Game 2 of their first-round series. They snapped almost a decade of playoff futility, holding their opponent to just 60 points with strong defensive effort. I don't follow basketball at all. Again, I'm not a sports fan. I don't follow the WNBA as a result, but that sounds like a very, very exciting story. So for those of you who are basketball fans, particularly Indiana Fever fans, congrats on pulling off a win. And let's see what's coming up next. Oh, I guess I should check the stream and make sure the music's not too loud, huh? Okay. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? International Snapshot. Back to International Snapshot. Let's see what we've got. This will be our second entry on the International Snapshot. And that is related to Colombia's decertification from U.S. anti-narcotics program. Let's find out what that means. For the first time in nearly 30 years, the U.S. has declared Colombia as failing to cooperate in its international counter-narcotics obligations. The reason? Significant rise in cocaine production in Colombia, poor progress on earlier commitments, slower eradication efforts under President Gustavo Petro. While sanctions were supposed to kick in, the U.S. waived them for now, citing national interests. Raise your hand if you think that is ever going to be resolved. Is that ever going to go away? Because I kind of think it's not. Okay, let's get back to the wheel. Give it another spin. I hope I have something for everybody today. Oh, why did that say close? I wanted it to remove, or did I look at that wrong? Well, we'll know at the end of the stream if I forgot to remove something, because then I'll have something on the wheel and I won't have anything else to tell you about. Oh, the mystery grab bag. Let's see what comes up first for the mystery grab bag. Right. First up, mystery grab bag. Let's pull up a picture. Where'd he go? This has its own picture. Forget therapy dogs. This guy brought a therapy alligator to the ballpark. Meet Wally, the cuddliest alligator in a sweater you'll ever see. This bigger. So they turned him away. He did not get into the game. But here's another raise your hand moment. Raise your hand if you've ever considered an alligator to be a potential. Hey, Jake Hudson, how are you? All is well here at Rich Cat Ranch. I hope the same is true for you, and thanks for stopping in to check out the stream. So support alligator. So I'm already amazed at this picture, and y'all know me. Now I want an alligator. It looks like he's still got his teeth, so you can't say there's no danger. But I've never seen an alligator in a sweater, let me tell you that. All right, let's get back to the wheel. See what's coming up next. Okay, remove. Oh, there wasn't a remove option on that last one. Now that I see where the word close was on this one. Okay, see, you can't even legally own an alligator without a proper permit. I'm guessing that guy has a permit, but how do you convince anyone that there is such a thing as an emotional support alligator? That's a new one. Here we go back to Space and Beyond. Let's see what's next up in the Space and Beyond category. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Oh, I probably should have put some more things on the wheel for, what was that I just saw? For sports, because I did have some Texas sports stuff that I thought I could share. All right, second up in the Space and Beyond category today, we've got engine issue delays on the Cygnus XL ISS cargo delivery. ISS, the International Space Station. The first flight of the Cygnus XL spacecraft built by Northrop Grumman, which has a headquarters in Pascagoula, Mississippi, I think. Pascagoula is considered the armpit of Mississippi, had a main engine burn issue while attempting orbital burns to rendezvous with the International Space Station. It was carrying approximately 11,000 pounds, which is approximately 4,990 kilograms of scientific research supplies. All other systems are good. It's a delay, not a failure. NASA and Northrop are assessing how to get it safely docked. That whole concept to me is mind-boggling. And when I watch movies I love our song, Jake. I love it. I love it. It is so beyond perfect for the channel. Even if it wasn't a channel song, it's so perfect. You're in Mississippi. Where are you in Mississippi, Jake? I lived in Gulfport for 4 years. I managed a dental practice in Ocean Springs. Ocean Springs is closer to Pascagoula than Gulfport. We're going to spin the wheel now, aren't we? So we just talked about, I was saying though, when I watch movies that have like docking sequences of, shuttles or whatever kind of craft onto another craft, that just blows my mind, because I am aware, Jake's in Waynesboro. I'm aware that all of those things are moving at 15,000 miles an hour. They're orbiting at a ridiculous rate of speed that few, if any of us, could possibly appreciate, because we don't really have a point of reference for numbers like that, right? So it's not a surprise to me when every now and then there's a glitch and something may not quite go right. Let's spin again and see what comes up next. Thanks for stopping in, Jake. Love to you too. A wild what if. Let's see what we've got in this category. Wild what if. A wild what if. This is more fun for sure. Wild what if. What if pets could vote? So if you have pets, imagine your pets could also vote on the same kind of things that we vote on, maybe more pet related. So would they vote? Would they form voting blocks like cats versus dogs or reptiles versus mammals? And what issues would they care about? Just animal life stuff, more belly rubs, automatic feeders, dog parks. And how would that change campaigns and politics if animals were involved in voting? There's something to think about, huh? All right, let's get back to the wheel. Do another spin. We're back to the mystery grab bag. Looks like we're back to the mystery grab bag. Let's see what's number 2 on the mystery grab bag. Okay, where did it go? All right, I gotta find that section. Oh, mystery grab bag. Oh nope, that's not it. That's just where I was getting ready to put it on my wheel. Okay, mystery grab bag number 2. Oh, I have another picture for you for that. I think I might have something for all of the mystery grab bags. Recently, well, I think a couple years ago, a library book was finally returned to the library after 65 years. What's even funnier to me about this story, and there have been other library books that it was even longer between the time they were checked out of the library and the time they were finally checked out. But this one was funny to me because this particular library book that was checked out for 65 years before being returned was a first edition of George Orwell's book, 1984. It was returned to the Multnomah County Library in Portland, Oregon, originally checked out in 1958 and returned on May 16th of 2023 with a typed note from an 86-year-old borrower whose initials were WP saying it should be read now more than ever. And I think the library only charged like $5 for it being overdue. So that's interesting. In 1984, for those that don't know, that's where that concept of Big Brother is watching, that's where that comes from. All right, back to the wheel. Oh, okay, it does have remove. Oh, well, so I know I'm going to have at least one thing on there. Let's see what we get. Another Space and Beyond. We're going to go through this category pretty quick. Just got to find it. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff to share. Well, that's not what I wanted. Why did that do that? Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Space and Beyond. Where'd you go? Do, or I should be doing the Jeopardy music, right? Let's just search. Use the search feature to find that section. All right, number 3 on the Space and Beyond list. Potential signs of ancient life on Mars. Again, this is a relatively new story. From Mars, the Perseverance rover found a sample in Jezero crater, specifically from a site called Shayava Falls, of lake mudstone rock that contains ring-shaped dark features and minerals like vivianite and greigite. I have no idea if I said those right. Ones that on Earth often form in the presence of microbial life. The sample is called Sapphire Canyon. It was collected in July of 2024. But a caution here, scientists are clear that it is not proof of life yet. It could be non-biological processes that resulted in these findings, and more studies are needed. I guess I'm kind of surprised sometimes at how long we've already had rovers on Mars, and we're still finding new stuff. So let's go back to the wheel. Let's see what's coming up next. Remove. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. Sports Corner again. All right, Sports Corner. Well, that wasn't it. Number 2 on the Sports Corner list, Georgia Tech shocks number 12 Clemson. I think this is college football, right? Georgia Tech won 24-21 over number 12 Clemson in a dramatic game. A 55-yard kick as time expired by Aiden Beer. I don't know how to say that, B-I-R-R. Clemson had beaten Georgia Tech in their last 9 matchups. This ends that streak. It's a huge energy moment for the team. I'll do a local sports here, too, since I forgot to put entries on the wheel for that. For Texas local sports and highlights, Texas A&M versus Notre Dame upset. Texas A&M pulled off a wild win, 41-40 over ranked Notre Dame in a thriller game. That win moved A&M into number 10 in the AP Top 25 rankings. We'll do one more in the local. Texas Longhorns AP ranking slips and a win over UTEP. Texas University Longhorns won over the University of Texas El Paso 27-10, but it was seen as underwhelming. After that, they dropped one spot to number 8 in the AP Top 25. Again, I know I got some sports fans out there. I know I got some football aficionados, so I don't really keep up with it, but I like to celebrate when people's teams perform well. All right, back to the wheel. Who's hacking up something over there? Hey, Bear, are you okay? If you missed Bear's Gotcha Day video, that went up a week or so ago. He has recently celebrated his 4th Gotcha Day with us. Another spin. Entertainment buzz. Is that what we're like? Yeah, we haven't done this one yet. Okay, entertainment buzz. Let's see what I got here. Oh. All right, entertainment buzz. Number 1 up. Movie and chat highlights and releases. Oh, that's just what I titled that subcategory. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, coming out September 19th, 2025, stars Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell, Kevin Kline, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and is directed by Kogonada. I don't know who Kogonada is. Swiped, which is based on Bumble founder Whitney Wolfe Herd and is played by Lily James, premiered at TIFF and will be released in the U.S. by Hulu on September 19th, 2025. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, the final movie in the Downton Abbey series, released September 12th. I know I got some Downton Abbey fans here, but I've never watched the show. And then Final Destination, Bloodlines, a supernatural horror film, grossed $310.4 million worldwide. It's the highest earning / most hotly reviewed movie in that franchise so far. I've only seen a couple of those films, and I love that stuff. You may know, I like the horror genre. I like, scary movies and sci-fi and things like that. So no surprise, I don't think that it did well, because I do think that franchise has done well overall. But that's the top one. The most recent one is the top performing one so far. Let's get back to the wheel and do another spin. I was kind of bummed to discover that I couldn't have two separate screen shares already set up to go. So that's why I'm having to flip back and forth the way I am. Animal oddities. I think this is our first time in the animal oddities category. Let's see what we got up first. Oops. I got to spell it right to find it. Oddities. All right, animal oddities. I should have gotten individual pictures for these too, but I didn't, so apologies for that. Number 1 on our list of animal oddities and strange discoveries regarding animal oddities: ghost sharks grow teeth on their foreheads. So I think when I did a previous strangest things you've ever seen on Earth and Beyond stream, the ghost shark was one of the things that came up because it is really among the strangest animals I've ever seen. Just the way it looks, the way its mouth works. But now I've learned that ghost sharks also grow teeth out of their foreheads. Also known as chimeras, males have been found to grow actual teeth, not just spiky skin, on their foreheads on a structure called the tenaculum. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. They use these teeth during mating to grasp the female's pectoral fins. This discovery challenges what scientists thought about where teeth can grow in vertebrates. Yeah, I would not think any scientist would have ever suspected that any animal, vertebrate or invertebrate, could grow teeth out of their foreheads. But the ghost shark, once again, proves its strangeness by doing exactly that. All right, back to the wheel. Give it another spin. Oh, we're back to Sports Corner again. Yep, back to Sports Corner again. Let's see what we got. All right, I think we're on number 3. Yes, number 3 on my sports corner list. Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler and the Ryder Cup prep. Rory McIlroy is set for his 8th Ryder Cup appearance, Europe versus USA, at Bethpage Black in New York from September 26th to 28th, 2025. And Scotty Scheffler has had a strong season. He's also looking for redemption after a rougher Ryder Cup in 2023. I do know that name Rory McIlroy, but I don't know the name Scotty Scheffler, and I'm not a big golf fan. I've played golf before, and I like it only because it's outside. And then Richard typically gets tickets to the Byron Nelson every year because Cadillac provides decked out, what's their big SUV thing called? Escalade? They provide decked out cars for the golf pros to drive while they're here for the tournament. Oh, and let's do a local since I'm on sports. Texas A&M player injury update. Safety Bryce Anderson from Beaumont Westbrook, I guess that's the high school he came from, had a scary injury during the big A&M Notre Dame game that we talked about in number 1. He was taken off in a neck brace, but the good news is doctors say no catastrophic injury occurred, and he retained full sensation in his limbs. Oh, that was the local one. Here's the we already did the national or international one. All right, back to the wheel. Remove that. Do another spin. History flashback. That's the first time this has come up. History flashback. What do we have in history flashback? Okay. Where is it? All right, here is a history flashback. This week in 1787, so this actually happened on September 17th, but I thought it was a big enough deal to include it in my history flashback. On September 17th, 1787, the Constitution of the United States was completed and signed by delegates at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. This document replaced the Articles of Confederation and laid the groundwork for the U.S. government. Also, under my history flashback category, on this day in 1796, so on September 19th, 1796, President Washington's farewell address was published. He warned the U.S. to stay neutral in foreign affairs and avoid long-term alliances, things people still debate today. So that was 229 years ago today. Back to the wheel we go. Has there been a category not come up yet? Oh, yeah, we haven't had weather. Sports Corner. What are the odds that keeps coming up? Look, it's even trending on my wheel. Sports Corner. Let's see what we got next. Ooh. Okay. Number 4 in the National International Sports Corner list. Aryna, Aryna Sabalenka, Sabalenka, won the 2025 U.S. Open Women's Singles, defeating Amanda Anisimova in straight sets, 6-3 and 7-6. There's a 3 in parentheses after that. I don't know what that means. It's after 7-6. With that, this is another big notch in her trophy case. She also won the Australian Open earlier this year. She's a combination of emotion and greatness. And then in my local sports category, Michael Taaffe, or Taffy, Taaffe, a safety for the Texas Longhorns, was named to the 2025 AFCA Good Works team. That's 22 college players plus a coach recognized for leadership off the field and in the community. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I want to see more stories like that. Yeah, we haven't had food for thought yet. We haven't had weather and seasons. History flashback again. What's up next in the history flashback? All right. Number 2 in my history flashback collection, the Battle of Antietam in 1862. So again, this is a this week in history because this was also on September 17th. The Battle of Antietam in Maryland. Somebody from Maryland, tell me if I'm saying that right, which turned out to be the bloodiest single-day battle in the American Civil War, resulted in over 3,600 men killed. And then here's another for this day in history. On September 19th, 1881, President James Garfield died from wounds sustained from an assassin's bullet. He was in office less than 4 months. History is not always so entertaining, is it? Nothing negative meant toward the history buffs there. Hey, Paul, how are you? Thanks for stopping in today. Oh, another history flashback. Oh, I don't even have to change my picture then. Next up in history, the Camp David Accords in 1978. After 12 days of negotiations, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin signed the Camp David Accords on September 17th, 1978. It was a big peace framework in the Middle East. If you can't tell, I started putting my little stories together 2 days ago, and I wasn't thinking at first, and so everything was coming up on this day in history. And then I realized yesterday, oh, wait a minute, I need to look for stuff for the day of the show. But still, this week in history, that red letter event took place. Here's another on this day in history. On September 19th, 1893, New Zealand became the first country in the world to grant national voting rights to women. Who knew? Big win for equality coming out of New Zealand. I'm working on some trivia and info in various categories for today's stream, Paul. All right, back to the wheel we go. We're on tech and gadgets again, you think? It's funny that we haven't gotten to a couple of the categories at all yet. And again, if you're wondering what I'm doing when I look down like this, I'm trying to see my keyboard with my mic right here in front of me and get to the category. So, tech and gadgets. All right. We talked about Meta's Celeste glasses. Now let's talk about Amazon's fall hardware event and what to expect. Amazon is confirming a big hardware event on September 30th, 2025 in New York City. Likely launches will include the new Echo Smart, the new Echo Smart speakers, updated Fire TV devices, and possibly a color Kindle Scribe. So be ready if you're planning for a trip in New York at the end of September. That sounds like it might be kind of a big deal for tech lovers. Been live streaming heavily, 4 solid days of nonstop streaming. You guys check out Paul's channel because he's had great coverage and streaming of the Kilauea volcano and some other, what is that word? Geophysical stuff around the world, events like that. Back to the wheel. Space and Beyond. Here we come again. Space and Beyond. I'm just going to scroll because I know it's above history and oh, that's Animal Oddities. I was thinking of the wrong thing. All right, we'll just look for it again. I have a lot of data here to sort through. Okay. All right, Space and Beyond. What have we already done? The Cygnus, the life on Mars. Okay. This is number 4 on my Space and Beyond list. Asteroid Ryugu once had flowing water. Ryugu, a near-Earth asteroid, had liquid water flowing through its interior, according to isotope evidence, meaning an excess of HF-176, which suggests water altered the parent body after its formation. That suggests these asteroids can retain ice and water for a long time, maybe delivering water or habitability ingredients to Earth-like bodies. That's interesting. So I guess it's saying it's possible that one of these asteroids could smash into some body and explode, and the water would come out of it. And because there's potential life supporting elements in the water, wow, that's an interesting thing to think about, right? Or is it just me? Back to the wheel. What do you think it's going to land on? Feel free to make a guess. Geology, there's the word I wanted. So he can change cameras from different parts of Kilauea by flick of a button. So there's the volcano is still alive and kicking there in Kilauea. All right, entertainment buzz. Back to entertainment buzz, that is. All right, entertainment buzz. We talked about the movies and the Final Destination earnings. All right. Marlon Wayans is taking a dramatic turn starring in the movie Him. I just saw a commercial or a trailer for that today on Paramount TV. Isn't that right? Yeah, because that was what I was watching because I was getting caught up on Big Brother. A new horror film produced by Jordan Peele. He's known for comedy, so this is a different side of him. Also, Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco are reportedly finally getting married in a private ceremony on September 27th at an undisclosed venue in Santa Barbara. And part of the celebrity baby boom in 2025, Cardi B and Stefon Diggs are expecting, and Rihanna and her ASAP Rocky are expecting their third child. Being fruitful and multiplying. Back to trending headlines, it looks like. Oh, I shouldn't have done that yet. Trending headlines it is. What do we have in headlines here? Trending headlines. Right, we did the consumer price index. All right. So there's been a mortgage rate drop, and a refinance surge as a result. The average U.S. 30-year fixed mortgage rate fell to approximately 6.39%, the lowest since October 2024. And because of that drop, refinancing applications shot up 57.7%, and overall mortgage applications rose about 29.7%. The takeaway there is that if you have been considering refinancing your mortgage, you need to do it now because rates are good, the lowest they've been since October last year. And everybody wins if you take advantage of the opportunity to refinance when the rate is that low. Right. Where's my wheel? Here's my wheel. Okay, Paul's recorded 50 plus hours of footage from the previous streams, including the one that's live still, and he's still recording it. So there's going to be lots to keep you entertained and amazed at Paul's channel anytime you visit. Trending headlines again. Okay, number 3 on the list. Jobless claims are rising. For the week ending September 6th, 2025, about 263 Americans filed for unemployment benefits. That's the highest in nearly 4 years. That number was up approximately 27,000 from the prior week. No need to watch the news, right, guys? You just come to the stream and I'll keep you filled in on what's going on in the world. What's up next? What do you think is coming up next on the wheel? Oh, we're finally going to get a weather and seasons? Yeah, weather and seasons. Let's see what I have in my weather and seasons category. Weather and seasons. There's been an extended summer heat event in Phoenix this year. Summer in Phoenix is lasting about 8 days longer on average compared to 1970. So over time, it's just getting longer. It's also hotter. Last year, Phoenix saw 110 degree Fahrenheit temperatures going into October, a record for how far the heat is stretching. And the impacts related to that, this raises energy bills, increases off-day hospital visits, and makes it harder for people outside who don't have cooling. Knock on wood again. I'm not going to do it because it'll wake the dogs up. But it has been a relatively mild summer here in Texas. We've had, scorching days for sure, but not like last year, not like the last couple of years. So that's a blessing. All right, come on, wheel, do some spinning. Oh, food for thought. I don't know why I have that on there twice. Okay, let's see. Let's go to food for thought. Food for thought. Food for thought. Number one on my list in the food for thought category, Kraft Mac and Cheese has issued a double cheddar recall this month, September 2025. Kraft Heinz voluntarily recalled certain batches of deluxe mac and cheese dinner, the double cheddar, because they may contain undeclared allergens, milk proteins that are not listed among the ingredients. It's rare for such a huge household brand to do a mid-year recall, so it definitely made headlines. So check your boxes of Kraft Deluxe Mac and Cheese Dinner, the double cheddar kind, and take it back to usually you can take it back to wherever you bought it. You don't have to have a receipt, and they'll give you a store credit or swap it out for something else. Right. Paul says, I already know why the unemployment rate is through the roof, but you probably won't like the news. Does it have anything to do with all these people that are getting terminated because of their behavior online? All right. Spin again. And that was the first up for food for thought. I might have too many entries, though, since I'm seeing now that I duplicated it for some goofy reason. Oh, we get another wild what if. Wild what if. What's up next on my wild what if list? What if humans could breathe underwater naturally? Obviously, we have, scuba gear and stuff like that to help us breathe. But what if just naturally? What adaptations would happen? Would we grow gills? Would we get webbed fingers? Would cities shift to underwater living? And how would industries change, like fishing and shipping and tourism? You ever think about that? I never thought about it till it came up in my research. Move that. Do a little spinning. The wheel is shrinking. Or the number of entries on the wheel is shrinking. The wheel itself, I guess, is not shrinking. Trending headlines again. Yep, trending headlines. Oops. Okay. What number were we on? We did jobless claims. Okay. Number 4 on the list of trending headlines, credit scores are dropping. The average U.S. credit score has dropped from 717 to 715, about a 2-point drop, which is the fastest decline since the Great Recession. Do with that information what you will. Gen Z is feeling it harder. Their average is approximately 676, which is about 39 points below the national average. So I didn't, dig too deep to find out what could be contributing to that most. But again, do with that what you will. There typically are, in history, we can look back at things that led up to some kind of a big event, and we can see the little signs that pointed that direction. But when they're happening, they're small and they're kind of spread out. But make a mental note. Okay, come here, wheel. Animal oddities again. Animal oddities. Let's see what other weird thing comes up after the ghost shark. Okay, number 2 on my animal oddities list. A new deep sea snailfish with a beard has been discovered. It was discovered off the California coast in the Monterey Canyon at approximately 10,700 feet deep. This species is Caryproctus caliculi. Apologies, all the Latin speakers out there. It's pink, bumpy with blue eyes, and weird. It's pink, bumpy with blue eyes, and weird beard-like structures make it unique. One of 3 snailfish recently identified it's one of 3 snailfish recently identified in that area, along with Caryproctus yancey and a Paraliparus M from earlier dives. And there's another thing that's so interesting. Every day, I don't think that's an exaggeration to say that every day a new species is found somewhere on Earth. Oh, all of the jobless things have to do with cheap pay and cheap labor. Interesting. So again, interesting that there's pretty much a new species of something, plant, animal, discovered every day. This is 2025 and we're still discovering new species. It's not always that it's like real deep in the ocean or in some inhospitable place. The Amazon is still filled with stuff that we haven't discovered yet. Isn't that bizarre? Okay. All right, Weather and Seasons. We get another visit from Weather and Seasons. All right, number 2 on my Weather and Seasons list. It's been a quiet Atlantic hurricane season so far, which that's usually the busier of the two. Pacific is not ever as busy as Atlantic. As of mid-September 2025, it's been unusually quiet in the Atlantic. No new named storms forming in nearly 3 weeks as of now, during what is typically the peak of the season. The last big named storm was Fernand, which dissipated August 28th. And only one storm, Aaron, reached full hurricane strength in that time. Experts warn we're still not out of the woods, though. Late September to mid-October could still see upticks. Have you ever been in a hurricane? Raise your hand if you've ever been in a hurricane. When I was in the 3rd grade, we lived in Jacksonville, Florida, and Hurricane Agnes came through. It was a highlight of my childhood, y'all. I was so fascinated and obsessed. It was. I did a report at school for extra credit, and I called and talked to the meteorologist at one of the local radio stations. I actually got to call and talk to him on the phone so I could get, stats and information for my extra credit report. And then when I lived in Gulfport, I was already out of Mississippi before Katrina hit, but like the year before, Hurricane Hugo came through, and I was there. We got out of the city, but it's not a pleasant experience at all, especially not in a coastal town. I lived on the beach, so it wasn't fun at all, and it's very stressful, being stuck in traffic trying to get out of town along with everybody else. Keep finding products on Amazon. Yeah, right. That Amazon name, Superstorm Sandy. Yep. All right, back to my wheel. Let's remove that. Do another spin. Oh, are we still in the Weather and Seasons category? What's next? There have been September heat records are breaking in British Columbia, Canada. Towns like Lytton tied long-time temperature records of approximately 40 degrees Celsius, and then Ashcroft pushed them higher to approximately 40.8 degrees Celsius. I think that's over 100 degrees, right? The extreme heat is contributing to one of Canada's worst wildfire seasons in recent memory, nearly as bad as 2023. Also, smoke from wildfires traveled far, affecting air quality even across borders. That's not good. I might try a stream with my clip-on mic. I just don't know if the little... there's a thing, like an adapter thing you have to plug into the device that you're connecting the mic to, because it's a wireless mic. And I don't know if it'll really fit on the back of this computer. If it's into the laptop, great, but I don't know if that'll work. But then it wouldn't be in my way. That's the point I was trying to make. Then it wouldn't be in my way. Weather and seasons again? How is that? All right, let's just see then what else we have coming up. Also in Canada. Oh no, this is in California. That was British Columbia, Canada. So wildfires in California have been fueled by lightning. California had dry lightning storms that sparked a bunch of wildfires, especially in regions like the Sierra Nevada foothills near Tuolumne, Calaveras counties. I don't know if I said Tuolumne right. Vegetation was super dry from drought, so the fires seemed to flare faster, and smoke also drifted into places like Yosemite, prompting air quality warnings. Is it my imagination, or does it seem like California is like almost always on fire? I don't know. I think we've gotten all the categories now, right? Here's another food for thought. Let's see what I have here. You know, and I could have done all these all together, but where's the fun in that? I like spinning the wheel. Number 2 on my food for thought category. I'm excited about this one. I don't know about you. Pumpkin Spice Explosion 2025 has begun. Starbucks dropped the pumpkin spice latte earlier than ever on August 26th this year. Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme followed with pumpkin menus. And here's a fun stat. Pumpkin spice is now an $800 million annual market in the U.S., up from $500 million a year 5 years ago. Sound off if you are a pumpkin spice fan. I love it. So my favorite pie is pumpkin pie. I don't know why it's typically only something people eat at Thanksgiving. You can find pumpkin pies all the time, and obviously I could make a pumpkin pie anyway, anytime I wanted to. I always keep pureed pumpkin around for the dogs. It's great for their digestion and bathroom issues. And I love like pumpkin spice muffins, and I love pumpkin. I love pumpkin everything. So pumpkin spice season is always exciting to me. I don't go to Starbucks a lot because it's just ridiculously expensive, but I love pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice. I love pumpkin spice. There, I said it. So let me know if you love pumpkin spice too. Let's do some more animal oddities. What do we have up next? We've had the snails and the shark. Oh, where did it go? I think I skipped right past it. Okay. Number 3 in the animal oddities category, a hoodwinker sunfish washed up in California. Mola tecta, commonly called a hoodwinker sunfish, washed up in Doran Regional Park, Bodega Bay, California. This species was only described in 2017. They can grow up to approximately 9 feet long and weigh close to 4,400 pounds in some cases. Their appearance so far north in California is surprising. Usually they're found in more southern/deep water areas. So you will have to look up the hood. I mean, I guess I could do that. The hoodwinker sunfish. Let's look up a hoodwinker sunfish. Hoodwinker sunfish. Let's put this over here because I think it'll show you, right? Let me get back to this screen. Okay, yes, let's find a good picture. There is a hoodwinker sunfish. Imagine that thing, approximately 9 feet long. Look how it looks like the back half of his body is just gone. Hey, Connie, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. That is a strange creature. I don't think we talked about that on my Strange Creatures live stream. Let's see what's coming up next. I hope y'all can hear the music and it doesn't just look weird that I'm jiggling around in my chair because I'm hearing the music. Oh, here comes another wild what if. So we talked about what if dogs could vote or pets could vote. And we talked about what if humans could breathe underwater naturally. Let's see what the next what if is. Oh. Okay, where is it? Oh, it found the world wildfires. That's not what I want. Here we go. Number 3 in the wild what if category. What if time travel existed, but only for personal memory? So you could revisit your own past. You couldn't change events or anything, but you could revisit your own past. Would people relive happy moments or obsess over mistakes? Would the ability make people value the present differently? And could remembering too much be harmful? So I remember seeing a movie. I'm great, Connie. Things are good here. Everybody is happy and well. The weather is nice, even though it's on the warm side. But everything is good. So I hope that's true for you too. I remember seeing a movie and people had some kind of an implant. I think it was in their eyes. It was somewhere, in their head, but I think it was in their eyes. And it like recorded every moment of their lives. And they could go back and rewatch, relive moments. And if I remember right, if they died or something, their family could have that device. They could have access to that device and the family could watch moments and things. And I don't remember what the name of that might have been. I don't know if it was a movie now. I don't know if it was a TV show, but it was a really interesting concept. And that what if makes me think about that. But what do you think the answers to some of those questions are? Here we go. National Snapshot. I think it's been a little while since that popped up. Take it all the way down here. Let's see what's left in this category. All right. What have we done already? We've done the Columbia's decertification. That was the last thing. All right. So next up, China and the EU are in climate negotiations ahead of COP30. China's former climate envoy, Xi Shenhua, I'm so sorry to probably mess that up, is going to meet the EU's green transition official, Teresa Ribera, in Brussels. That was going to happen on the 16th of September, so obviously that should have already happened, to try to revive stalled international climate efforts. This is ahead of the UN's preliminary climate meeting on the 24th of September and before COP30 in Brazil. One big issue is that some large countries have not strengthened their national plans under the Paris Agreement, and there is concern COP30 attendance will be low, partly due to logistical issues and some countries pulling back on efforts. I don't really know a lot about any of that, but for those of you who do, you'll have to keep me posted. Sports Corner time again? Yep, let's see what's next in Sports Corner. All right, next up in Sports Corner is, I know this name. Tom Brady is coming out of retirement. Sort of. Brady is set to come out of retirement to play in a flag football tournament in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the Fanatics Flag Football Classic, scheduled for March 21st of 2026. He'll be joining other NFL stars. It's been seen as part of expanding the sport globally, flag football, the sport of flag football. So that's kind of fun. So technically he's not coming out of retirement, but as a football player, he's going to do some international work. We have food for thought. Food for thought. Let's see what's up now. All right. So we talked about the Kraft mac and cheese. We talked about the pumpkin spice explosion. Now, here's some info on lab grown, or what is referred to as cultured meat. Singapore expanded its approval of cultivated chicken to include nuggets, tenders, and even blended products. The U.S. is still reviewing, but they expect lab meat burgers to creep closer to restaurant menus in 2026. I don't have a problem with that. I like meat. I don't have any ethical issues or anything with eating meat. I do really work hard to support kindly raised meats, free-range chickens, and I'm not a fan of cruel, companies that don't keep the animal's welfare in mind, due in large part to the fact that I really believe, this is why I have so much respect for homesteaders and people that raise their own meat. Because if you have the opportunity to ensure that the animal was cared for properly and fed properly and given a safe place so that they're not stressed, and I think it impacts the quality of the meat, the taste of the meat. And one of the first channels that I came across here on YouTube that is in the homesteading category, well, obviously it was Roots and Refuge Farm. But then when I started actually meeting people that I feel like I know, and this particular channel has been a guest on my channel for an interview before, it was Eric and Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch. And the first video of theirs that I ever saw that partly made me fall in love with them and their channel was a video where Eric was walking viewers through the process of dispatching and dealing with rabbits for meat. They grow rabbits. They raise rabbits on their property for meat, among other things. They've a lot of other meat animals. And his handling of that and his stress on the importance of dealing with the animals kindly and humanely was just beautiful to me. And so I think that's how it should be for all animals. And that's why I don't have a problem with eating meat when I know it comes from a place. We have a great butcher shop here where they raise their own meat, and they're just incredibly loving toward their animals. And I just feel like, if an animal has had 60 great days or whatever the animal is, because like meat chickens, I think they're ready to be processed like at 8 weeks or 10 weeks. So if they've had a great life, every day's been good, they were loved, the people raising them paid attention to them, and they made sure they had quality food and a safe enclosure and free range opportunities, and then there's just that one moment where it ends so that they can then move on to their greater purpose. I'm all for that. I think that's how it should go. And I support places that ethically raise their meat animals. So that's just my little soapbox for today. But obviously it did kind of tie into the cultured meat thing. So I don't have a problem with cultured meat because I feel like, I mean, I don't know yet the benefits of cultured meat. I don't know nutritionally, what does that provide? What are side effects for people? What's in it that you could maybe be allergic to? But I know there are people that for ethical reasons do not eat animal products or don't eat meat. And I feel like this might be a great alternative for them. So that's kind of where I was going with that. Let's see what's up next. I'll try to stay off the soapbox for the rest of the show. Ooh, we're going to slip right over into tech and gadgets. Let's see what's up next in the tech and gadgets category. Okay, we talked about, the glasses. What else did we talk about? We talked about the Amazon hardware event. Okay, here we go. Number 3 in tech and gadgets. Samsung has started rolling out One UI 8 to its Galaxy S25 series and will follow with S24, Z Fold 6, Flip 6, etc. I have a Z Fold 6. That's this phone right here. I'm not looking at the screen. The Z Fold 6. It folds. So it's great. I love it for playing like my my mobile games and stuff. I love it for that. Because it's big. It's bigger enough for me to really see it. Okay, see, Connie cannot have anything pork because of allergies. So I'll be interested to know if, a lab-grown pork type product comes out. Right now, I only know of, I don't know anything about the lab-grown stuff, but I know of, products that are animal-free, like burger patties, but it's not animals, it's plant-based. And the same with chicken, that there are chicken alternatives that don't have actual animal products in them. But there was the next one on the gadgets, tech and gadgets list. What do we have now? Entertainment buzz. What's in my entertainment buzz section now? And hopefully I counted right. All right, where are you, entertainment buzz? Oh, why does that keep happening? I keep accidentally hitting a tab across my screen where I've got some websites saved. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Entertainment buzz. Next up, Beverly Callard from Coronation Street. I think that's another Downton Abbey thing, isn't it? Has joined I'm a Celebrity All-Stars Series 2, which is filming in South Africa right now. Speculation around Camp Rock 3 is heating up. The Jonas Brothers and original cast sightings, Demi Lovato being coy, and people are excited. That's all related to Camp Rock 3. I don't know what that is. And then Maura Higgins fans think she might win Celebrity Traders US after spotting clues and her recent big agency signing. Celebrity Traders. So, I love that show, The Traders. I've watched, there's a British one, there's a US one, and there's a New Zealand one. I think or maybe it's Australia. It's Australia. And I've been watching for news on the next seasons of those, but I don't think they're coming out again until next year because they just finished their current or their most recent seasons, earlier this year. So there's your entertainment buzz tidbit. Did I remove that? What are we landing on? International snapshot? Oh, look at that. I just realized I misspelled that. Oh, I can fix it right now. All these times I've been spinning that wheel. But nobody ever said my eyesight was good. Okay, international snapshot. Back to international snapshot. Y'all have to tell me that. That's like if I had toilet paper stuck to my shoe, I would want you to tell me. If I misspell a word, you got to tell me. Let's see. International snapshot. All right, we talked about the climate negotiations. All right. In a historic first, Rwanda is hosting the UCI Road World Championships, marking the first time this major cycling event is held on African soil. That's a big deal. Kigali's terrain is tough. Elevation gain over 5,400 meters in the men's race alone. Just me, or does that make y'all's legs hurt to think about it? And the athletes to watch include African rising stars like Biniam Girmay and Jazila Wamikazi. Apologies, people, for not knowing how to say those names. That's kind of exciting. Oh. We're at a wild what if again. Wild what if. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's animal oddities. Wild what if. What are we on now? We did time travel, we did humans breathing underwater, and we did pets that can vote. What if all ice on Earth melted in 100 years? Sea level rises, displaced populations, what regions flood first? Ecosystems collapse, climate shift, what happens to agriculture? Could humans adapt, or would there be mass migration? Now, I'm going to tell you now, I don't mean to get on a soapbox again. I don't buy into that. So if you have a glass of water, I should have thought about that. If you have a glass of water and you fill it, halfway or 2/3 of the way, and then you fill it the rest of the way with ice, so much ice even that maybe part of the ice is sticking up over the top of the glass, maybe a big piece of ice over the top of the glass. When the ice melts, it doesn't flow out of the glass. Think about that. Try that experiment at home. So I have a hard time with that whole concept of if all the polar ice caps or whatever melted. Now, if it's not ice that's already in the water, I can see that could cause a problem. But when it's ice that's in the water already, icebergs, and I don't think it would work any differently than ice in a glass, even if the ice is, piled up above the top rim of the glass. That's just my opinion, but tell me what you think. I definitely know I have not removed some of these. Just because for whatever reason you notice it has those in a different spot. Back to animal oddities. Animal oddities. What's up next on animal oddities? Okay. And let me get back. I saw a comment. Look at Yosemite National Park. The caldera is massive and it's overdue to explode. We've been waiting for that for a long time, haven't we? All right. Next up in the animal oddities. Oh, yeah. Okay. This one This is my favorite thing I learned about doing the research for today's show. In Southern Europe, the queen of the harvester ant, Mesor ibericus, can produce male offspring of another species. Yes, you heard that right. Mesor structor, when mating with structor males. Or even in some conditions without direct paternal genetic contribution at all, which is called clonal reproduction. This phenomenon is being called xenoparity. It's the first known case in the animal kingdom of this particular kind of interspecies reproductive behavior. And then I did a little more info on xenoparity, so let me tell you what that is. There's not a lot known about it yet. So what is xenoparity? It's when one species, in this case, that harvester ant from the Mesor ibericus species in Southern Europe, it's when one species can clone offspring of another species, completely different species, through reproduction. So instead of just mixing their DNA the usual way so that they get like a hybrid, a Shepsky, a German Shepherd Husky dog mix, the Ibericus queen can actually produce viable male offspring of the other species, almost like she's hijacking or copying their genetic blueprint. And again, scientists don't even know a whole lot about that yet, but as far as what the potential purpose of that ability might be, by cloning another species' males, Mesor ibericus queens could quickly expand local populations of structor workers without needing many structor queens. This could help stabilize mixed colonies where both species coexist. And ant colonies sometimes overlap and compete for resources. So by producing structor males, Ibericus queens might be creating built-in allies inside rival species' workforce. And then there's the possibility that it's like a genetic insurance policy. If environmental conditions change or if Ibericus populations get stressed, the ability to produce offspring of a related species could give the colony more flexibility to adapt. I'm just, again, I'm such a science geek. And yeah, we've been waiting a long time. Or at least we've been ready for a long time for something to happen at Yosemite. Right. We're probably closer to the end than I think because I know I didn't take some of these off. So at some point we're going to spin one of these and I'm going to get to that category and I will have already told you everything. Entertainment buzz. Let's see. Okay. So here's the last one on my entertainment buzz list. At New York Fashion Week in September 2025, lots of celeb style moments occurred. Martha Stewart, Saweetie, etc. were caught spotlighting the runway plus some street style looks. Director Bill Condon is reimagining Kiss of the Spider-Woman as a movie musical with Jennifer Lopez in a triple role. She'll play Ingrid Luna, Aurora, and Spider-Woman, and the film drops October 10th. I'm not interested in that. I do have a friend who is a professional photographer that has actually done work at New York Fashion Week before. He's a friend of ours because he adopted a foster dog from us many years ago. Right. Come here, Wheel. Come here, Wheel. That was the last one on Entertainment Buzz. So if it comes up again, we'll know I forgot to take something off. Is there still one on here? Maybe not. Animal oddities. Do we still have an animal oddities to look at? Okay. Animal oddities. We talked about the ants cloning other species. All right. Here's an ankylosaur with a 3-foot neck spike, or 3-foot neck spikes. A fossil of Spicamelus afer, discovered in Morocco, lived approximately 174 to 161 million years ago, the Middle Jurassic period. This dinosaur had giant spiky armor, 3-foot long horizontal spikes protruding from its neck, plus additional spikes along its ribs. These spikes might have been used for display, like showing off to mates, as well as defense. I want to see if we can find that. Let's see if we can find a picture of that. Obviously, it won't be a real picture. Let's go to pictures. Let's go to pictures. Oh, he's pretty cool looking. It's like a great big Texas horned lizard. Isn't that interesting? That's pretty cool. Not something I would want to meet in person. Another Space and Beyond. Let's see if we still have a Space and Beyond to look at. All right, Space and Beyond. What have we not talked about yet? Okay, so NASA is preparing launches of missions like IMAP, which stands for Interstellar Mapping and Acceleration Probe, Carruthers Geocorona Observatory, and NOAA's SWFO-L1, which is Space Weather Follow on at Lagrange Point L1. What did I just say? Purpose of these is better mapping of how the sun's energy / particles interact with solar system and monitoring solar storms and understanding how space weather could affect Earth and satellites. I thought we were already doing that. That's what I get for thinking, huh? Ooh, another Space and Beyond. That's easy enough. Okay. Next up, Artemis 2 is NASA's upcoming first crewed mission in the Artemis program to fly around the moon, but not land, with 4 astronauts. Their names are Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. It's planned for early 2026. This will be the first time since Apollo that astronauts travel beyond low Earth orbit. Now, what do we have next? A history flashback. Oh, we're getting close to the end. We're getting close to the end. Let's see what's next in my history flashback. All right, so this week in history, Lieutenant Thomas E. Selfridge died in a crash while flying in the Wright Flyer piloted by Orville Wright. He was the first person to die in a powered aircraft crash. That happened also again September 17th. So this week in history, on this day in history, on September 19th, 1995, anybody know what that date signifies? The New York Times and the Washington Post published Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. That's the Unabomber. Its publication helped lead to his identification and capture. That was on this date in 1995. Tech and gadgets. I did think I saw one more tech and gadgets thing. Tech and gadgets. All right. Gear news from Wired. Nescam's Xperia 10.8.7 That's a 7. VII, fast charging tech and more. Google's next gen Nest cams plus doorbells are coming with likely 2K video, zoom, and crop features. Sony revealed Xperia 10-7 mid-range phone, 6.1 inch display. 6.1 inch display. That's close to my phone, isn't it? That's close to my phone, isn't it? 120 hertz refresh rate and a 50 MP main camera, 50 megapixel main camera. But it's not coming to the US immediately. And then Qualcomm introduced Quick Charge 5 Plus for smarter voltage/thermal control, faster charging, better safety. Yeah, if you've ever had your phone charging and you go to get it and it's hot, it can be kind of unnerving. Hey, Erica, how are you? Thank you for stopping in to hang out with us. Right, back to a wheel. Let's go wheel. Did we do that? We got some more international snapshot to share. Let's find out. Nope, it looks like we did finish all the international snapshot stuff. This is one of the ones I must not have removed. So we'll remove it now. Oh, did I see another one on there too? No. Another history flashback. What are we still having? History flashback. All right, history flashback. The American Professional Football Association, which later became the NFL, was formed in Canton, Ohio this week in 1920. And then on this day in 1920, on September 19th, 1983, St. Kitts and Nevis gained independence from the United Kingdom. It's like Sports Corner in it. Sports Corner, where'd you go? I do think I had some more Sports Corner to share. Okay, Sports Corner. What's left here? Okay, this is the last one in the National International list. The Ryder Cup, September 25th to 28th, 2025 at Bethpage Black, New York is coming up. And the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo is happening now because it started on the 13th. It runs from September 13th to the 21st right now. And then for my local stuff, the Houston Astros beat the Texas Rangers 6-5 to take an essential series win. Players who stood out were Jeremy Pena, who had 3 hits, Jose Altuve, and Jesus Sanchez, who each knocked in 2 runs. That win keeps the Astros hot in the playoff race, just behind Seattle for the American League West lead. All right, so that was my last international one. So let's see if I have some other locals to share, and we'll finish out this category. The University of Texas at San Antonio lost a shootout to Texas State 43-36. That dropped them to 0-2 under head coach Jeff Traylor, a disappointing start for them. And Adolis Garcia has been activated from the injured list. He was out with a quad strain. To make room, they optioned Dustin Harris down to AAA Round Rock. That's Texas Rangers baseball news right there. So that's all the Sports Corner category stuff. So hopefully there are not more of these on the list that I forgot to remove. Oh, what's it going to land on? Make your guesses. Looks like a tech and gadgets one, huh? Did we already read all the tech and gadgets? We're about to find out, aren't we? Tech and gadgets. Where'd you go? We talked about. Okay, here's the last one on the tech and gadgets list. From Anchor Innovations at IFA Berlin in 2025, brand refresh plus new product lineups under Anchor, Ufi, and Soundcore. I'm guessing those are companies they own. And the standouts included a UV printer, which is a personal 3D texture printing device that turns sketches/photos/text into textured designs, creative tools, plus smarter home security and audio video gadgets. I don't think that printer turns things into creative tools. Maybe it does. A UV printer. Never heard of that. A UV printer. I'm going to have to look that up now. That's interesting. See, we don't even have to do the Google trending thing today because that's where a lot of this came from. International. There's that international snapshot again instead of snapshot. Did I do all those already? We'll find out, won't we? Okay, did we do it all? Yes, we did that already. We've already finished all of that, so let's just take that off there. Give it another spin. What's it going to land on? Weather and seasons. It seems like we only had a couple of those, right? Weather and seasons. All right. A coastal storm off North Carolina brought heavy rain, coastal flooding, gusty winds, and high surf that spread up into Virginia and the mid-Atlantic. Rain forecasts of 2 to 4 inches in some places, over 6 inches where thunderstorms stick around, plus rip currents are possible, along with power outages where the winds are strongest. So even though we haven't had a hurricane, there's still stormy stuff going on in the mid-Atlantic. Looks like I may not have had enough entries on the weather. Headlines. Didn't we do all those? Oh, no, that was international snapshot. Snapshot, wasn't it? Okay, international headlines. Okay. Higher income Americans, meaning those earning $100,000 a year or more, saw an approximate 10-point drop in consumer sentiment over the past month. Despite concerns like tariffs, inflation, job market softening, U.S. retail sales in August rose 0.6%, though, beating expectations of 2% year over year. They're up, year over year, they're up approximately 5%. Go ahead and read another one of these. Donald Trump filed a $15 billion defamation suit against the New York Times, calling it a radical left mouthpiece. The New York Times disputes it. Also, FDC Director Dr. Susan Manares said RFK Jr. pressured her to pre-approve vaccine panel decisions without a scientific review. She refused, was dismissed, and there have been major concerns raised about scientific oversight and integrity. Back to the wheel, another couple of spins. just barely entertainment or food for thought, in case there's still any food for thought left to do. We'll know soon enough. Okay, food for thought. Yeah, here we go. In Hokkaido, Japan, 2 Densuki watermelons, which are rare black-skinned melons, sold at auction for, you ready? $24,000 this summer. And let's talk about one of my favorite things, Texas fair food. Here's a picture for you. Oh no, that's the pumpkin spice latte explosion. Here we go, Texas fair food. Probably some of the best reasons to go to the fair is for the crazy fair food. So the State Fair of Texas is around the corner. It opens next Friday, the 26th. And the finalists for the Big Tex Choice Awards include fried tres leches cake balls. That would be these here on the little elevated bowl thing. Bacon wrapped Cajun lobster tail. That would be this right down here on the bottom left. And a cotton candy churro sundae. Oh my gosh, that sounds good. Of course, there's the obligatory corn dog that you have to see. Corn dogs and turkey legs and roasted corn, I think, are, some of the favorite stuff for a lot of people at the fair. Did you hear that they found remains of south of Leavenworth, Washington, that they believe is of Travis Decker? No, I did not. When did this happen, Erica? Obviously, it's recent, since there hasn't been enough time for me to have heard about it. Oh, let's see if that finishes out let's finish out the food for thought category. There are some weird pairings going viral on TikTok. One of them is mustard on watermelon, which is back again. That's something I think that's been brought up in the past. And cottage cheese ice cream. That doesn't sound too weird to me. When I've seen people make cottage cheese ice cream or teach people how to make it, it doesn't sound like it's that weird. And then Dr. Pepper plus pickles has become a Texas fairground and TikTok snack combo. Dr. Pepper plus pickles. So I love pickles. One of my favorite snacks. It's been a long time since I've gone to the movie theater. But when I go to the movie theater, I love to get, the big tub of popcorn and a big one of those big dill pickles you can get. And I love that. Is making my mouth water. Just talking about that and looking at this picture, just talking about that is making my mouth water. Pickles and popcorn. Oh, or pickles and like Ruffles brand potato chips. Wavy Lays, whatever. A traditional plain salted potato chip. Pickles and potato chips and pickles and popcorn. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's good stuff. And my mouth really is watering. Navajo fry bread. So I'm betting the ooh is for the Dr. Pepper and pickles, huh? But is anybody else a fan of pickles and popcorn or pickles and potato chips? Let's get back to my wheel. I think that finishes off now the food for thought. Obviously, we don't have a lot of other options. Looks like we're going to end on entertainment buzz, which we might have already done. Fixing to find out, huh? Let's see if there's any more entertainment buzz stuff we didn't already share. Oh, there I go again, hitting that button accidentally. Someone needs to invent a computer that won't let me accidentally hit that. Okay. Yep, we already did that. All right, we already finished that one. Let's take it off the wheel. And that just leaves the food for thought, but we just finished food for thought as well. So let me just look over my list and make sure there wasn't anything else we didn't cover. It's just as possible that I would have had too many entries on the wheel as it is that I would have not had enough. Okay, what is that? International. Oh, that's trending headlines. Seems like there was another wild what if. Let's look at that. Here we go back to the wildfires. It keeps finding wildfires. Wild what if. Okay, yeah, here's some more wild what ifs. So let's get rid of the wheel, finish off our wild what ifs, and then call it a day. Wild what if. What if humans lived on Mars and Earth simultaneously? So there were colonies on both planets. How would culture diverge on Mars versus Earth over 100 or 200 years? What would daily life look like? Travel between, politics, trade? What languages / norms / food / fashion might evolve differently? If you haven't read Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy, you must read it because it touches on all of those things, and it's just an amazing introduction to his work. What if every person's dreams were recorded and could be watched by others with permission or not? Would there be privacy nightmares? Would there be dream influencers? Would there be, would psych therapists become movie directors? And would people try to influence their own dreams? Would there be commercial tie-ins to people's dreams? What if animals could talk? Which species would be the biggest gossips? What rights would talking animals demand? And would it change how we treat them, like for farming and environmental issues or just pets? And what if humans lived to be 200 years old, but aging and health issues kicked in late, like past 150? How would society change? Retirement, lifespan, work, relationships? Would populations grow too big, or would birth rates drop? And how would education, family, and economics adapt? What do you think? Oh, there's an ooh left over. Okay, so that was the mustard on watermelon that seemed to generate a lot of ooze. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't even do salt on my watermelon. I have done salt on watermelon before, but that's been a long time. And I don't mind like savory and sweet mixed together, but mustard is a category all its own. Oh, Connie doesn't even do watermelon at all. Beef tallow isn't bad if it's hot enough. Erica loves watermelon but despises mustard. I like mustard, but not on fruit. Oh yeah, you guys try this if you have a channel link you want to share. I think it's still working. It seems like somebody tried it. Let's see. I may have to visit with Nightbot again. I'm surprised that it even finally popped that back up again, because I know it's just in the long list of stuff that Nightbot says for me. Beef tallow for frying. Well, I'm pretty sure too, Erica, that there are a lot of like skin products now, especially people that want natural ingredients, not chemicals and synthetic ingredients in their skincare stuff, that are beef tallow based. I have a like an aches and pains beef tallow cream. It's like a lemongrass and lavender or something scented that a friend of mine makes, and she uses what's the word when it's not got chemicals sprayed on it? Organic beef tallow. And what is the oil that's in it? Oh my gosh, what are those giant pills I take at night? What are those giant pills I take at night? I gotta go get that bottle of so I can remember what it's called. Magnesium. It has this isn't the product. Oh, I guess I could get the product and show you. Okay, so magnesium. Magnesium is great for muscle relaxing and like spasms and stuff. The first time I learned about that, it seems like Richard and I had been on a camping trip or something, and then while we were away, I started getting these spasms in my neck, and we stopped at a little drugstore or just a store and talked to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist recommended magnesium, and it really did help. So this product that my friend makes, again, it's a creamy. It feels like Nivea or Noxzema. It feels like it's just a creamy thing like that. And I got it from her because she had been sharing with people that it's good for. Let me take that off. It's good for aches and pains and stuff. So, like people will buy that Asper cream stuff or whatever. Well, I had a pretty serious and lingering case of, I think it's technically called lateral epicondylitis, but it's better known as, I don't remember which is which, tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. I don't play tennis or golf, but I do a lot of things obviously around here because we have a lot of animals. And so there's a lot of repetitive motion type stuff I have to do just in caring for all the animals. And it really flared up. Like I couldn't even sleep. It was so uncomfortable. I used this stuff, which again it's beef tallow based, and it's like lemongrass and lavender scented, and it has magnesium oil in it. And I just kept it. I keep it right here by where I sit on the couch. And every time I thought about it, I would just rub it there. And within probably 4 days, the pain completely went away. Obviously there's the possibility that I stopped doing whatever I was doing, or I was paying more attention and I wasn't overexerting it or overextending it or whatever causes the problem. And that, that could have contributed to it too. But this smells really nice. It feels great on my skin. It doesn't make my skin oily. And again, it's all natural, and she makes it herself. So look into that. If you got aches and pains, look into something that's got magnesium oil in it. And why were we talking about that? Why in the world were we talking about that? We were talking about watermelon, and we were talking about not putting mustard on fruit. Oh, beef tallow, because we were talking about beef tallow. And I always just thought about using beef tallow for cooking until my friend Angie, posted on her Facebook that she had a fresh batch of her beef tallow salve available. So there's that. If nothing else, you learned that today. But I'm starving. I have not had any lunch yet. And I thank those of you who joined us live. That is always so much more fun for me, because then we can chat together and it's more interactive, and it just makes it more real, and the connection is better. Oh, fry bread using beef tallow. Well, is it McDonald's who is it that recently made the decision they're going to go back to frying their French fries in beef tallow? Because now everything is so artificial and filled with stuff that's not even real food. Where did that go? And that's kind of sad. But that's it for today. I don't know yet if we're going to the fair. If we go to the fair, obviously I'll have some information to share with you. And I will definitely want to try that churro cotton candy ice cream thing that we learned about. Maybe that lobster bacon thing. I like lobster. I like bacon. But part of the fun at the fair is always just to see the crazy things people have figured out how to fry. First year I ever saw fried ice cream or heard about fried ice cream, it was at the State Fair of Texas. It's good. But Richard and I will be back again next Thursday night. As always, you won't know what we're doing until we know what we're doing, which is usually not until a day or two before it happens. And then next Friday, my guest will be Rebecca Hamlin, the president of the North Texas Wildlife Center. And she's going to tell us everything we never knew we needed to know about wildlife rehab and the day-to-day operations of a big facility very renowned in our area, and they do amazing work for wildlife in North Texas. So I hope you will join me for that. I hope you guys will be here next Thursday night. Um, yeah. So again, so here's something, somebody somewhere convinced a lot of us that lard was bad for us. And it's actually a lot healthier for us than vegetable oil or, some of the other stuff you can buy. So let's go back to the good old days. Eat bacon and eggs every day. Fry your stuff in lard. I'm going to have to try frying some bread and beef tallow. But thanks for stopping by. I love you all. Oh, let me run my little, if for some reason you need to get a hold of me thing. If for some reason you need to get a hold of me, you can send me an email. I would love it if you would, I already said that, didn't I? I'd love it if you would give the stream a like, share it with your friends, share the channel with your friends, and be safe, be happy, be well. Did I already tell you I love you? Well, I love you. Even if I already told you, I'll tell you again. I love you, and I thank you for hanging out with me today. Bye, friends.